Robert Wilton are sailing through the Arctic Ocean, aiming for the North Pole. All those adventures he threw are explained inside the letter he wrote to her sister in England.
When Robert Walton and the men take a ship into the Arctic Ocean, they get stranded and surrounded by the solid ice and fog for a few days. A gigantic man in a dog sled driving across the ice until it was lost from their sight. They wonder where the gigantic man came from. The next morning, they see a man with some dogs. This is where Robert Walton taking care of the man and started telling his story.
Victor talks about his family, including his adopted sister, Elizabeth, his younger brother William, and his best friend Henry. After his mother's death, Victor went to Germany to study science at the University of Ingolstadt. He was very lonely, but despite his grief, he immersed himself in his studies and his desire about the secrets of life and death.
Victor studied biology after focusing on chemistry because he had interest in life and death. He gathered various materials to make his experiment. Victor finally finished his experiment, who ended up making him fair and run away. He's scared about his creator, while Victor's father became worried because all his letters never get any reply. He met Henry, who can confront him from all that horror.
Victor decided to visit home, but he received a letter that his younger brother William had been murdered. On the way home, Victor discovered that William was being murdered by the creature, but the blame was put on Justin, the family's housekeeper. Justin was sentenced to death.
Victor decided to seek relief to the mountains because he felt guilty, where he found the monster, who finally tell him everything about how he became evil, unhappy, and feeling abandoned. The creature tells his experiences from he leaves Frankenstein's house, get rejected from people, and isolates himself. Then, he finds the Lacey family and learns everything from them.
The creator learns read. He reads Frankenstein's book. He despises Victor for making him look so awful and ugly. One day, the blind man was left alone in the cottage. The creator tries to talk with him, but when the other Lacey family comes home, Felix hates and rejects him. The Lacey family move away, making him feel lonely and sad. Then he goes to Geneva, Switzerland. Suddenly, he hears a little girl screams and drowns in the water. Then he tries to save her life, but someone tried to shoot him. He finds a child from Frankenstein's family. He holds him too strong and makes him die. He puts a pin to a woman, then police blame her. In order to accompany him, he requests that Victor create a wife.
Victor doesn't want to grant the monster's wish to create a wife, but the creature promises to bring his wife with him, far away from people. Then Victor starts to create a woman creature, and when he looks out the window, he finds the monster's glare. Once it is almost done, he tears everything apart on the table because he is sick of thinking the two creatures will lose up on the road. The creature comes up to him. "Very well, Frankenstein," he says. "I will go, but you have not seen the last of me. I will be with you on your wedding night." Victor gathers all the dead body parts and puts them into a sack. He takes a small boat and throws the sack to the ocean. Victor keeps sailing until he finds a shore to land. As he arrives, a policeman arrests and brings him to the judge's office on suspicion of murder. The policemen show him a dead body. Henry was killed by the monster. Victor is sick and depressed in the jail before he is found not guilty. Elizabeth writes a letter to him, thinking he doesn't love her anymore. He truly loves her, but he is afraid of the monster staying. But it has been a long time ago. Then they decide to get married, but the monster shows up and kills Elizabeth on their wedding night. Victor decides to leave Geneva forever. He hunts the monster across the globe to kill him, even follows him to the pole. Sometimes the creature is only a day ahead, but then the ice breaks, so the cold water is between the monster and him. He is gone. Victor floats on a broken piece of ice for weeks. Then Walton finds and helps him to his boat.
Walton went back to his sister and decided to forget his dream. Tells how Victor that was and how the creature comes to pay a final farewell to Frankenstein before he finally jumped through the cabin window.